Hello everyone, welcome back. In this short video, we're going to talk about auto rotations with turns. And we're going to show you a couple of auto rotations using a 180 degree turn, which is a pretty common thing to do. You can do them from other angles as well. 90 is also somewhat common. But the idea is, how does your auto rotation change if you're in a turn? And two things you need to worry about. So when you're in a turn, if you are not in trim, that's going to cause your descent rate to increase. So you want to make sure that those trim strings are straight up and down. So that's one thing you need to worry about in auto rotations with turns. And you can see, if I don't keep things in trim, it will make a much, much bigger difference. The other thing is, as you turn, you're going to have to pull back on the cyclic. And as you do that, it's going to cause some additional coning as you load down those rotors, and that's going to cause the RPMs to go up. So a straight-in auto in the Schweizer, you can pretty much, for the most part, leave the collective full down until, obviously, the flare at the end. But when it comes to a turning auto rotation, as you're turning, you might have to just check the collective, just briefly raise it and then lower it again as you are in the turn. I like to, as I'm doing my autos, I like to just say spot, speed, RPM. So I'm looking at my spot. Am I going to make it or not? Looking at my speed. Am I in that acceptable range? And that acceptable range for the Schweizer is pretty much kind of 50 to 65. And then I'm looking at my RPMs. Just like we said with straight in auto rotations, if you pull back, that will cause the speed to go down and cause the RPMs to go up. If you push forward, speed goes up, but then the RPMs go down. So thankfully, there's a pretty wide range in the Schweizer. It's a 25% range. If you fly something else like a Robinson, it is a much, much tighter range, and auto rotations are considerably more difficult in a Robinson because they have a very low inertia rotor system. That is all I have to say about turning auto rotations. Let's go ahead and we'll fly a couple. I'm going to show you what happens if I don't touch my pedals at all. So I'm going to start with it in trim, and I'm going to enter the auto rotation out. So down right aft, coming back, turning, and look at that descent rate. The descent rate is pretty high. Check up on the collective, come around, turning, and you can see that was bad. I had a really high descent rate. So this time I'm actually going to keep it in trim with the pedals as I turn, and we'll see what a difference this makes in my descent rate. Alright, so we'll go in 3, 2, 1, down right aft, start my turn, get that pedal in there. Again, I'm looking for that pitch attitude. The airspeed is going to vary a little bit as you're in a turn and the wind is kind of not hitting things straight on, especially because I have a pretty decent headwind today. Okay, so I'm coming around, and you can see that keeping it in trim did help a lot. So. Enter my auto rotation in 3, 2, 1, down right aft. Immediately start turning towards my spot. So spot, speed, RPMs. Make it a little bit more. Just a little check up collective. Keep those RPMs in the green range. Coming down. Now it's a straight in auto. Flare. Push, pull, and power recovery. Alright, down right aft. Start my turn. Turn it. Spot, speed, RPM. pitch picture. As I come around, it will check a collective to keep it nice. Got a green range. Now I'm going to flare, 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 and push in and pull. We're going to enter in 3, 2, 1, down, right, aft. Turn it, turn it, turn it. Watching that pitch picture. Speed looks good. Spot, speed, RPMs. RPMs are creeping up a little high. Just a little check and collective. Keep it in the green range. Right now it's a straight in auto rotation. Flare, 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 flare. Push in and pull. Go ahead and enter in 3, 2, 1, down, right, aft. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Trim, little pedal. Turn it, turn it, turn it. Turn it. Check up on the collective. Keep those RPMs in the range. Alright, coming around. Flare, 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 flare. Pushing and pulling. Entering 3, 2, 1, down, right, aft. Start my turn, turn it. Spot, speed, RPM, spots looking good. Around my spot. Around. RPMs are building, just a little check up on the collective to keep those in the range. And we're coming around, coming around. Now we're doing a straight in auto. Flare, 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 flare. Pushing and pulling. Alright, that was a full down auto with a 180-degree turn.